Hello my dear senior friends. Now back to our discussion on cultural studies and politics in India. As we can see, this is the 9th point. 8 points we have already done. We have identified 16. This is the 9th point, that is rise of the Dalit as vote bank or new political society, as Partha Chatterjee would say. Now what happened to Indian politics is all these Mem Sahibs and the Sahibs who were leading a very comfortable life, they bartered politics for good life. So there is a vacuum. And into that vacuum, this new society, we can say, newness entered politics. Newness means in the form of the Dalits, or what the finance would say, wretched of the earth, or the lumpen proletariat, or the rural poor, Indian urban poor, or the rural poor. So, as a whole, you can call them with this name Dalits. And they became very active in politics. And as a result of that, a new democratic politics came up. And they participated actively in political life. Understand? And then what is the next question that we will ask is this. So the first question is this: what is meant by this new democratic politics? New democratic politics means this entry of the Dalits into the political life, active political life. That is new democratic politics means. Now, what is the content? Who are the people? That already we have seen. What is the content of this? How do you know the content of this new democratic politics? That, as Partha Chatterjee would tell us, you can get it from reports. See that? You can get from reports and from photographs. Photographs of what and reports of what? Reports of carnivals. Reports of street brawls, means quarrels. Report of bazaar tabloids. You can get this idea about what is the content of this new political society. Society's activities or new democratic politics. What is the newness in politics? What is the newness in politics? That is the thing. This is a newness enriched politics. Partha Chatterjee says according to him. Now what is this newness? Nothing but manners and mores of these people. And how do we know what are the manners and mores of these people? As just now it was bazaar tabloids. You get reports of street brawls, street quarrels. You get reports of imminent revolutions. And if you want more of that, a vivid picture of that, you get photographs of shanties, small shopkeepers. You can get the photographs of the graffiti on the walls of Calcutta city. So from this you can see actually the manners and mores of these people. And that is the content of the new politics or newness in politics. Newness. But then another question comes. See, remember once again how are we proceeding? We are proceeding with the entry of the new political society. Who are this new political society? The Dalits. Now why and how did they get a space here? Because those people who are already in politics, they moved away. They were indifferent and they were disinterested in this. And then what happened is this new people came. They started a new democratic politics. And new democratic politics means the vote bank politics. They became what happened to this group is they were to be seriously considered and counted by the leaders and politicians. So newness. What is this newness? That is the manners and mores of these people. How do we know this? They know this from bazaar tabloids and photographs of shanties and small scale shopkeepers and graffiti and all these things. Such things you can see. So central to politics again, back to manners and mores. This is what happened. Now there is a question here. What is the difference between manners and mores in the West and in India? So we have already seen that yesterday. I told you in the class that the genealogy of manners and morals in India is different from genealogy of this in Western countries. In Western countries, this is conduct, and conduct is being trained. Means training is given for this. What is called, they equate manners and morals with the civil virtues, with civic virtues. Manners soften man into citizens. So this training is given by educational institutions, church, and also the government. So there is governmentality, there is fashioning, there is active intervention of such schools, educational institutions, and so on. So that was the case there. Not only that, they look at it as conduct. Understand that? Something that has to be fashioned. But what about in India? India, we don't have such a situation, but we have got self-governing institutions that would look after manners and morals of the people. What are these self-governing institutions? They are the caste system. What do you call the caste? The caste and the caste practices. And that is based on what we call dharma. That is samskara, ajara, and vyapara. See? This is the content of the manners and morals in India, not like the West. Here it is organic growth, self-sufficient or self-governing institutions based on dharma. The foundation is dharma, and also the binary of purity and pollution. You can see now, suppose somebody touches, suppose I touch another person with my feet, then what will I do? As a reflex action, I will say like this. I will touch him and then like this, and then sorry. Like that. Now we don't say sorry with namaskar. Or pranam is namaskar and pranam. So that's a kind of reflex action. And that comes because that is from right to your childhood, right to your infancy, you are seeing people doing this, and therefore you are doing that. Understand that? This is the difference between the manners and morals in the West and manners and morals in India. So here you have got, as I told you, the vyapara, then ajara, and then samskara. Understand? Together you call manners and morals. And this is done, we learn this not from an outside agency, but from within the society. Understand? So now I have told you 3 points today. That is, our 9th point is rise of Dalits as vote bank, and there is also a new political society. According to Partha Chatterjee, the politics of the governed, he says there is a new political society, and this new political society is the Dalits, their entry. So what happened is that they created a new democratic politics. The new political society gave gave rise to a new democratic politics. Thus, newness enters into politics. Then what is the content of this? The content of this is manners and morals. How do we know this? From reports and from photographs. What is the difference between manners and morals in India and abroad? That is the West. In the West it is conduct, civic virtues. They equate it with civic virtues. Manners soften men into citizens. So that is the idea of manners there. And it is training is being given by educational institutions, churches and government itself, governmental agencies. But in India it is not like that. In India it is part and parcel of your behavior. Your your way of life. Right from the beginning, your infancy, you start learning this. And so it becomes a kind of reflex action. It is based on caste system. Caste system is, we know this 4 castes, that is Brahmins, then Vaishyas, Shudras, and Kshatriyas. Sorry. Vaishyas, Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, Shudras. So each group has got their own code of behavior, code of conduct. And it is not taught by anyone. It is organically developed, you can say. Understand? It's not prescribed. It comes as you grow. It grows as you develop. And that's an example I gave you about pranama and namaskara when you touch. Understand? So this is the difference between, and also we have seen it is based on this pollution and purity by inner. So that is about the rise of the Dalits as vote bank politics. Now the 10th point is continuation of this. That is, this manners and morals in politics. And this same thing that we see in Gandhian morals and manners, or what we call political spirituality. That is the 10th point. Political spirituality of Mahatma Gandhi. And what is this political spirituality? As I told you the other day in the beginning, political spirituality looks like a metaphysical conceit. How can politics and spirituality go together? But it can go. Mahatma Gandhi did not have a political theory. He had only practice, as you can see, vegetarianism, satsang, reading from the scriptures, celibacy. Then you have got procession, marches, and you have yoga, wearing khadi clothes, worn by himself. So these manners and morals, you can say. No? This way of life of Mahatma Gandhi. That was his manifesto, so you can say. That is how he attracted thousands of people towards him. So he practiced what he said. See, and this spiritual entry of spirituality in politics was something new. Again, you can see the root is manners and morals. Understand? We are continuing with that. The importance of manners and morals in politics. So here when it becomes political spirituality or spirituality in politics, and thousands of them follow. This you can see even now in India. Wherever there are agitations, wherever there are strikes and so on, you can see the Gandhian manners and morals followed by or taken up by people. Understand that? Because it was so, what we must say, it went deep into the heart of the people. Because when somebody is doing something, not just saying anybody can say, but doing something, that has got tremendous impact. Again, what Bhaskar Mukhopadhyay is trying to tell us is that the importance of manners and morals in politics of any kind. It can be what we say secular politics or spiritual politics, we can say. And the 11th point is Sanskritization. Sanskritization. And what is Sanskritization? It is also connected with Gandhian manners and morals. So this is not anything new with Mahatma Gandhi. Don't think that Mahatma Gandhi created a thing like that. It is a long-term dynamic of Indian society. It's a long-term dynamic of Indian society. What is it? That is absorbing outsiders into the Indian society based on caste and jati. Understand? So if you outsiders, if they accept your manners and morals, you will be admitted. And this process is called Sanskritization. So definition of Sanskritization is it's a long-term dynamic present in the Indian society, Indian ethos, Indian manners and morals, you can say, Indian habits, Indian way of life, that is outsiders can get entry into our society provided they practice or they accept the way of life that we are following. That is Sanskritization. So Bhaskar Mukhopadhyay says that, of course, with an apology, that we are not belittling Mahatma Gandhi. We are not belittling Mahatma Gandhi, saying that he is not the originator, but he is. That much we should accept. He is not the originator, but he has, what we must say, used this mechanism which was existing in Indian society to absorb outsiders into our society, provided they follow our manners and morals. Understand? So today we have discussed two small simple things like this, rise of Dalits as vote bank. So in the vote bank politics, you are not considered as what you must say, humans, not citizens, not consumers. Then what is your position? Only number. Numbers matter. Understand that? And that is how a new politics or new democratic politics arose in the Indian society. Right? Because large numbers. I told you when we were discussing Indian popular films. What is the success? What is the success behind Indian popular film? That the Indian masses. Understand? Indian masses. They are throwing film theatres in thousands and in millions. In thousands. Millions would be too much of an exaggeration. If I say that millions of people surrounded, they're throwing near a theatre, that would be an exaggeration. We don't want such exaggerations. Okay. So we have so far now discussed 11 points. Do you remember them? First one, that is Journal of Arts and Ideas. Second, we have got Indian People's Theatre Association. Third, we have Nehruvian institutes such as academies. Fourth, we have Indian Hindi films, so Indian popular films. Fifth, we have TV programs, propagandist type. Sixth, we have got arts, visual arts and painting, oil painting and corporathetics. That is master-slave, this one. This is corporathetics there. And the seventh one, we saw the English studies. How English studies affected cultural studies and politics in India. That is Gauri Vishwanathan's and Joshi and Aladdin, etc. Their anthologies we saw. The questioning Indian English, variety called Indian English, insularity of Indian English literature, the burden of English. So key issues were discussed now. And eighth point we saw, that is manners and morals. How they were once central to politics. Later when Kant and his followers threw them out, afterwards again came back to Indian as the central point, or the centrality, gained the centrality again in politics. Understand? And now today we saw the rise of Dalits, again continuation of manners and morals we can say, and the rise of the Dalits, they caused what you call a new democratic politics. And in the new democratic politics, you find newness entering society and politics. And what is the content we saw, manners and morals? How do we get it from photographs and from reports? Isn't it? What is the difference between Indian concept of manners and morals and also Western concept? That also we saw. That is, there it is conduct, conduct, and that is done by civic virtues. And that is done by educational institutions, then church and even the government. But here it is based on what we call caste system, that is ajara, samskara and vyabhara, and that too is based on the binary of pollution and purity that we saw, isn't it? Yes, and this is organic and reflex action. It comes as a reflex action. And then next point we saw is Gandhian politics and political spirituality. What is meant by that? By introducing spiritual practices. Maybe some people will say it is anachronistic, but he has introduced this and it has become a great success, a grand success, you can say, isn't it? And finally we see today, for the time being, our 11th point is Sanskritization. It is a long-term dynamic of Indian society, absorbing outsiders into our structure of the society, provided they follow our manners and morals. I hope that I have covered I have given you an idea about right from the beginning to this 11th point. Now we have only just 4 more points. With that we come to the end of this essay. It's a brilliant essay, in-depth analysis of a situation we can see. And it is, I must say that it's a vast canvas now. It's a vast canvas. But when we go into this now, point by point, it's simple. Because these are things we are coming across every day. Understand that there is no, we must know metaphysics in this. Or there's nothing that we cannot understand. Because we are experiencing this. For example, Dalita Sotbang, we are experiencing. Sanskritization, we are experiencing even now. Gandhiji's politics, we are experiencing now. Because whenever there is an agitation, you will find people going on nirahara or fasting. Isn't it? And sometimes you will also find them singing songs and bhajans and things like that. So it is even now. So in front of you, we can see this. So there's nothing, I must say, nothing occult about this essay or ideas expressed in this essay. TV shows, you are seeing that. Films, you can see that. So the art, visual art, you can see. English studies, you can question that. So relevant to the present. That's the thing. Very relevant. And Nehru's, as we saw, National School of Drama, it is still there. National School of Drama. Then it is still there. What? Censorship is still there. Understand? Government is actually, what is the government doing? Any government for that matter. For that matter. It won't allow INB a free hand. No. No government will do that. Democratic or undemocratic, whatever it is. So these are things that we are experiencing every day. Therefore, I don't think it must present any difficulty for you. So the remaining are very simple points like factors of corrupting our culture. What are the factors that also every day you are seeing that tourism and things like that, isn't it? Yeah. So for the time being, we will say goodbye. Enjoy your life, relax, and have a nice day. Bye.